How's the sound quality, guys? Is it okay? I couldn't get my Bob Barker microphone working again. I just realized I don't have a sound input on my new Mac. All right, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. All right, hear me fine, hear me fine, hear me good. All right, guys, this is going to be a little bit more interactive today, and I'm going to kind of give you guys some assignments as we're going through. And in just a minute, I'm actually going to take a break for about 2 minutes and allow you guys to go out there to follow some initial assignments. And what I'm going to do is I come back, I'm going to give an assignment to you, I'm going to come back, I'm going to give another assignment. I might take off for a couple of minutes if I come back. And all through the night, I'm going to be teaching, but also demonstrating the power of what we're doing and also how to use it in your business. And I'm going to be laying out a formula that really, if you understand, you can almost create money out of thin air once you really master the formula. Now, the key there is master the formula. You got to master the formula. You can't just buy the product and expect commissions to magically appear from nowhere in your business. You've got to actually go out there and you've got to master the formula in order to get the results that you want. You've got to master the formula that I'm going to teach you tonight. But if you master it and if you are willing to do it, the interesting thing is there is no real limitations on what's possible for you. You can really do whatever it is that you want. Obviously, look at our income disclosure, right? Because people enjoy seeing averages. And if you actually go to the bottom of the footer of every page on our site, we've got a little thing that says earnings disclosure. We actually update that live every 24 hours with current, real average earnings statistics from our entire affiliate database, okay? And so here's what I'm going to do, and this is where we're going to start. Yesterday, we talked about setting clear outcomes. And I'm going to pay attention as we're going through here to the comments that are popping up. So real quick, yeah, somebody said it sounds like the same video that yesterday night. If you guys could just write in the comments if it's the same video as last night, just please refresh the screen. Just refresh the screen, it'll be fine. Guys, here's what we're going to do. Yesterday we were talking about setting clear outcomes for your business, setting clear outcomes for what you're going to use the blogging platform for when you decide to buy, and setting clear expectations for yourself and your business and really what you're here to accomplish, really what you're here to achieve. And so just really quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to set an outcome for tonight. We're going to set a goal for what we're going to accomplish with this live stream. And to set that goal, I need some interaction. I need some feedback from you guys. And so what I want to do is I want you guys to write in the comments if you could learn one thing, okay? If you could learn one thing and master one skill that you believe would help you get the results that you want in your business, what is it that you're really here for? Okay, and I'm not going to answer all of them, obviously, because people are going to ask things, honestly, I didn't even know the answer to. And the great thing about me is if I don't know the answer to a question, I just ain't going to answer it. What I want you to do, though, is I want you to write a clear outcome on what you want to achieve being on tonight's live stream and what you're really here to accomplish by deciding to pay attention and focus all of your energy on the sound of my voice until this live stream is completely finished. So you can just go ahead and write in the comments now what you're here to accomplish. That'd be great. I'm actually going to go grab a cup of coffee here real quick, and I'm going to be right back in just a second, and then we're going to go on to the next step. So go ahead and write what you're here to achieve. If everybody says, hey, where's Jake? What the hell's going on? Just say, hey, you're supposed to write an outcome on what you're here to achieve in the comments below. Be right back in a second, guys. All right, folks, I am back. Hold on just one more second. I'm actually going to show you guys this office that I've got here. I know it sounds a little bit echoey in here. I don't have my good microphone system working yet. But this is actually my office that I've got that looks over the city. You can't really see it right now, but this house that I'm in is pretty awesome. It's got 4 stories in it, which is hilarious for a person to live in. But actually, you can't see that either, but it looks out in the day. There's a swimming pool right out here, so I can actually, at any time I want, like jump over a fence from my office window right into the swimming pool. And then that looks over Escazú, which is it's kind of like the ritzy city in Costa Rica. This is where everything fun is to do in the city in Costa Rica is right here. It's about 40-minute drive from Jaco Beach, if you guys have ever been down to Jaco Beach. And it's like a 10-minute drive from the city of San Jose. So that's where we're doing the live stream from tonight, right? So you guys wrote some outcomes. Let me just take a look here at some of the things that are on here. And what we're going to do is start looking at a pattern. And then I'm going to, in addition to what I was planning on trading, okay, hold on a second, rank on Google, consistency, in the Power Network, right, figure out why we master money yet, figure out what my purpose is. A great blog. I'm just reading some things. Why are you here? If you're wondering what people are writing in the comments, what are you here to learn tonight? What are you here to master tonight? What is it that if you took it away from this live stream now that you can start getting results now, today, in your business? Jeff, master the art of communication. Okay, it's a really good one. I'd like to understand how to better market my blog, get people to my funnel. Clear intention. All right, capture and convert leads to sales. Would like to learn it better. 2 sales a day. Okay, good one. Converting 5 leads per day. I don't really know what you need by that. All right. Hey, good job, guys. Good job. All right, I'm going to do something else here, real quickly. And what I want to do is ask you to write something else in the comments, right? Just for some social proof here. Here's what I want to know. I want to know if you have made money by listening to what it is that I teach. In other words, if you've taken things that I've taught you to do, things that people around me have taught you to do, things that the leaders in Power Network have taught you to do, you've made money. How much money have you made? And you know, how long have you been in? You just write how much money you've made and how long you've been in. If you've made money here, that's what I'd like to know. You can go ahead and write that in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead here and just kind of look at this as we're going on. What I want to demonstrate is the reality that if you are willing, okay, if you're willing to take action and get started in your business and decide to focus your energy in a single direction and decide that you are going, no matter what, to accomplish a massive result in your business, and you're willing to take instruction and correct things along the way, that not only are people succeeding by doing these things, and not only are people getting results, but we have an extraordinary amount of people getting results that you're going to start seeing flying up in the comments, right? Which my comment stream is actually slow as snot because of the amount of comments we have coming in. We have like hundreds a second, right? What I'd like to demonstrate, guys, is a handful of things. Number one, what we're doing works. It just does. You know, I've been able to build a business from the comfort of my own home for the last 4 years by blogging and by building syndication networks and by building tribes of people who are all focused with their visions in a common direction. And by focusing people's energy in a single direction, we've been able to now create a team that's surpassed 200,000 people, okay, in all sorts of countries around the world. And it's literally just the start of what we're about to do. Right now, our blogging platform that we have, that, you know, when you click here to join now, when you click that button and fill out the form and you buy our blogging platform, you're actually going to be getting started in a business where you can market any products and services that you want and utilize the skills of a massive community of people to help you accomplish results in your business and your life. Okay, so we built a team of 200,000 people. Our company has now done over $70 million in sales all around the world. We pay right now. We pay something like 9,000 or 10,000 people a commission every single month. We have close to 1,000 people earning over $1,000 a month. And we're bringing in, on average, in Power Network, this is even before the launch, we're bringing in an average of 400 to 600 to 800 new blogging customers a day, right? Now, just to give you an idea, in our first year, we really averaged, if you look across the entire year, just over 100 customers a day. So we've now gone from starting, right, to about a year later, bringing in just over 100 customers a day, to now we're at, year 2 and going into year 3, and going into year 3, we're now averaging right around 500 customers a day. And our platform is still only in English. What's going to happen as we step forward into the future, as we decide to lock arms and to focus our vision in a single direction, as we decide to make Empower Network all that it can be, what's going to happen is that 500 customers a day, when we move into the Spanish language, is going to move into 1,500 to 2,000 customers a day. When we decide to split into multiple languages over the coming year, which is what we're doing, we're going to start doing events in Central America in Spanish. We're going to start doing events all through Europe in different languages. We're going to start doing events in Russian. We're going to start doing events in Spanish all through the United Kingdom. We're going to start doing events in Portuguese, in Brazil, and other countries around the world. And as we do events in these areas, and we start having leaders rise up in these areas speaking different languages around the world, Empower Network is going to blossom into a world-changing force. See, it starts with having a platform in order to be able to start getting results, but really where it's headed is it's headed towards a vision. It's headed towards a direction. And I can see a day, a lot of you have been to events, a lot of you are actually going out to Orlando this weekend. We've got regional events going on all month where we've had anywhere from 800 people to 1,400 people. I believe Orlando is going to be the largest. And in Orlando, when you guys go and you see the event there, it'll blow your mind what we've done. It'll blow your mind what you're going to learn in the room. It'll blow your mind what the leadership in this organization is going to share. It's going to blow your mind the success that we're having from the people who are in the room. It's going to blow your mind the transformation you're going to have on the inside. And the different thing about our events is that we don't open them up to people that are not customers. In fact, if you don't buy the blogging platform now by clicking that big orange button or the link below this video or whatever page you're on, if you don't click that link and just decide to get in, we actually won't even let you into our events. We'll keep you out, and security will escort you outside if you show up, because these are for customers only, because our events are not there to sell products. Our events are not there to get you to buy. Our events are actually there to help our customers achieve a different level of result in their business. And so if you have a business and you want to be able to market it better, if you want to be able to create viral traffic, if you want to be able to create tribes of people to market through, if you want to learn how to be a real community builder and to do things that have never been done before, then get your butt to our events. And you can do that if you're an Empower Network customer. There's event ticket sales that go on the inside, right? So every 3 months we have these events going on. Well, what's going to happen is we've done regional events this cycle, and we're going to start splitting these events off to where we're going to start having them in multiple languages and countries with different leaders at the same time. For example, right now, obviously I can't be in 2 places at once. We have events going on this event cycle in Anaheim, California, in Dallas, Texas, in Washington, D.C., and now in Orlando, Florida. I did 2 of the events, and Dave Sharp is doing the other 2. Isn't it a neat thing to be able to build a team and an organization of people that get to be trained by other people? Isn't it a neat thing to be able to build a community where the influence and the leadership of those people that you're lifting up and those people that you're empowering to get their business to the next level, where those people can be trained and mentored and educated when you're not even in the room? Isn't it a cool thing to be able to build a business, to be able to build a customer base, to be able to build a vision, to be able to build an income where the sun never sets on your income? Isn't it a neat thing to be able to lock arms with people around you who are people with vision and people with spirit and people with heart, people that are willing to do whatever it takes to lift you up, to get you to the next level? And isn't it a neat thing to be able to look somebody in the eye and be confident and say, what you're deciding to buy now can change your life? And isn't it a cool thing to be able to align yourselves with not just one, but an army and a community of like-minded people that are visionaries and who honestly have your best intentions in mind? And here's why it's a neat thing, is because there's somebody watching this live stream now who's never heard my voice before and you're hearing it for the first time, and you're going to make a decision tonight that's going to change your life. There's somebody watching this live stream now who's been involved in Empower Network since the beginning, and you ain't really made it yet, but tonight you're going to make a shift on the inside, and from the shift you make from the inside, you're going to go and raise up armies. There's somebody watching this live stream now who lives in a country that I've never been to. I've never set my foot on the sand in the country. I've never seen the mountains in the country. And you're living in a country and you speak a language I don't speak. And you're going to create an army in that language, and you will be on the stage in front of 15,000 people in that language. And there's somebody watching this live stream now who tonight, because I speak the words that are now coming out of my mouth, I'm going to inspire you with hope and vision, and because you have hope and vision, your whole life is going to transform. Because I don't know if this is exactly true, but the Bible says, where there's no vision, the people perish. And I'm not somebody who particularly reads the Bible a ton, but I do like a handful of things, that kind of suit my purposes from here and there. But what does that mean? It means that when you do not know where you're going, you kind of wither up and die on the inside. Sometimes in life we get beaten down. Sometimes in life we get attacked by things that are around us. Sometimes in life things don't go the way we want them to go. Even when we make the right decisions, things don't always work in our favor, or so it seems. But here's the reality. Sometimes your energy gets consumed in these obstacles. Sometimes your energy gets consumed in the details of things around you. Sometimes your energy can get consumed not in where you're going, but in the mess that you're in right now. And when you start focusing in on the mess, here's what happens. I actually was I went to this retreat center for a few weeks where I was working on myself, and I was working on my vision because I had some craziness going on in my personal life. Well, when I was in there, I met a guy, and I'm not going to mention his name, so I'll say his name was, like, Garth, right? Because that's a name that I actually don't know anyone named Garth. There's probably somebody watching this live stream named Garth who's making a good decision. So his name was Garth, right? This guy had been a massively successful business person all his life. And then what happened is a couple of years ago, he got slammed with a couple of frivolous lawsuits. Well, rather than letting go, and rather than just going and settling the lawsuits, he became consumed in them. He spent his entire fortune trying to keep people away from really paying them a small amount of money. In other words, he spent more money fighting these people off significantly just to prove that he was right than it would have cost to just settle the lawsuits, right? And it wasn't the fact that he spent the money that had destroyed him on the inside. It was that when he got consumed in the details of the obstacles, he stopped focusing on his vision, and what happened is he perished on the inside. His heart withered up and died. He lost the ability to use his gifts to go out there and start making money now in his business. He lost the ability that he had kind of been birthed with to go out there and to create fortunes. He became consumed. Well, a friend came along a couple of years later, slapped him on the back, and said, "I'll solve this for you." Went and he just settled the lawsuits, but this guy was really messed up. He'd spent all his money. He'd been focused on problems for 2 years, right? So I took about 20 minutes with him while I was there because I know some neat things about the mind and what you can do. And in a 20-minute conversation, rewired this man's brain from focusing on his problems to focusing on the result that he wanted. And an interesting thing happened when I talked to him. What's the interesting thing? Well, his shoulders, he went from walking like this and looking down all the time to all of a sudden going like this. He went from talking about his problems all the time to all of a sudden he began to speak and he began to talk about all the great things that he was going to do with his life. His vision actually improved by a significant enough amount to where he had to change his glasses just by changing his focus. Now, is that a weird thing that happens all the time? No, it did happen, and I saw it right in front of my eyes. He started working out again. He started getting in shape. He stopped focusing on problems and what the problems were doing and why his life was there. And all of a sudden, he started focusing on solutions, and he started focusing on how am I going to get this result and how am I going to solve these problems. He went in that conversation wondering how he was going to spend the small amount of money that he had, and he left that conversation with me that day thinking about all the ways he was going to go create more money in his life by implementing the ideas that originate from his unconscious mind, and now he's a changed man. All from a 20-minute conversation. There are powerful things that you can do with the mind when you decide to stop focusing on problems and start focusing on how to get the result that you want in your life. There's something powerful that happens inside the mind when you stop focusing on the obstacles that are in your way and you start focusing on the mountain that you're climbing, which you can still see because it's bigger than the obstacles and you can see it overarching the obstacles. There's something powerful that happens when you decide to let go of the lawsuit, when you decide to let go of control of everything in your life, when you decide that you're going to do something new with your heart and you're going to go out there and you're going to focus on your dreams and goals, when you decide to forgive that person that told you that you can't do it and to realize that they were doing the best that they can with the resources they have available, when you decide that you're going to do something new and do something powerful in your life, when you make new decisions to focus on different outcomes, it's amazing in your life. When you make new decisions to focus on different outcomes, it's amazing on what can happen. What does this have to do with blogging? Well, we're going to get into that tonight as we progress through and lay out a formula for creating wealth in your business now, right? What I want to know is, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to listen to the instruction? Are you willing to surround yourself with people that are not better than you? Keep that in mind. However, they do know things that you don't know, and they are better at certain things. See, I learned something a long time ago, and what I learned is that you have a choice in life, and that is you can focus on all the areas you're weak in life, and you can be frustrated all the time trying to make weak things strong. However, there's also another way of focusing your energy, and that's deciding that you're going to focus all your energy into where you're strong and surround yourself with people who you love and care about and are lifting up to fill in the weaknesses. What's the difference? Well, one time I was in a conference with 15,000 people. A man named John Maxwell walked up the stage, and he was talking about focusing on your strengths. And here's what he told me. Now, I don't know if this is totally true, but I believed it, and it made sense to me, and this is responsible for creating the majority of the results in my life. What happened was John Maxwell said that people are born with natural inclinations and natural gifts, things that they're good at automatically, things where they're not an expert at. They're not a level 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 at. However, they are on a scale of 1 to 10. They're like naturally a 6 or a 7, right? So, for example, somebody might be a natural 6 or a 7 at communicating and speaking. Well, if somebody's really good at speaking and they've got a gift of gab, that usually also goes with a weakness where they're a 1 or 2. For example, I'm a natural, really good communicator verbally, right? And I also space out all the time when I'm listening, and I'm not a natural listener, right? So my ability to communicate verbally is naturally like maybe a 7, and I've worked it up to about a 9.5, right? I've got a long ways to go to get to a 10, right? However, my ability at listening is like naturally a 1, right? Well, the ability to communicate well verbally and the ability to listen are opposing gifts. Somebody who can listen really well usually is not that great at inspirational communication. Somebody who's really good at inspirational communication is usually not that good at listening. They are opposite skills, and they fight against each other. And there's a saying that I actually heard from a guy named Jeff Olson where, have you noticed, your strengths and your weaknesses tend to go together, don't they? When you're good at one thing, it's also the source of some of your greatest problems in life. It's the exact opposite of what you're good at, right? Sometimes when you're super intelligent, you overthink things all the time. Sometimes if you're really good at talking, you drive people away in your life. Sometimes if you're a really strong person, right, you can push people away. Something I've seen a lot of people really close to me do quite often. People who have really strong, aggressive personalities, right? That can be a strength because you get the job done. However, it can drive a lot of the soft personalities and people who need love and attention away from you because they don't want to be around the energy. Your strengths and your weaknesses go together. Now, here's what I learned from John Maxwell. He was standing on stage, and he said, you have a choice. He says it takes an entire life of work to improve a natural skill 2 or 3 points on a scale of 1 to 10. In other words, if you're a natural 1, you can spend your whole life on the 1, and you move to a level 3, or a level 4 if you really work it hard. He says, but if you're a natural 7 in an area, you spend your whole life in that area, working on that area, you can move to a natural 9, you can move to a 9, a 9.5, or a 10. He said, here's the difference, and this is a big deal. He says, a 3, right, makes about $15,000 a year, right? He says a 9 or a 9.5 or a 10, he says you almost can't pay enough to get a 10 in the room. He says, but if you're a 9, you're going to make over $1 million a year. in any skill set in life if you're a 9. Because people will fly around the world to see a 9. And people will pay their life savings and pay, take loans out on their mortgage to learn from a 10. So the question is what should you focus on? Where should you place your energy and attention? I'm going to suggest to you that here's the formula for doing this, is that what you need to do is focus almost all of your energy on your strengths, because that's what's going to make you your money. And whatever your weaknesses are, admit them, realize them, and then surround yourself with people who are natural 7 and who work on themselves in those areas. So if you're not a good listener, you need good listeners around you. If, for example, let me give some examples in business and marketing. And I'm kind of talking around something here. We're going back to somewhere important. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. Just hit the buy now button and just get in. Let me give you some examples in business, though. There are people in marketing who market in different ways. Some people have a better natural inclination towards analytics, and some people have a natural inclination towards inspirational communication. Almost all the time, somebody who's really good at inspirational communication is not good at analytics, right? The two skills are contradictory, and they fight each other in the brain. Because in order to be an inspirational communicator, you have to be a little spacey and be able to tap into your unconscious mind. In order to be analytical, you have to be able to focus the majority of your energy not on what's inside, but on the external world, on the outside. Your mind needs to be a little bit more quiet, and you need to think in a different way. The two skills don't really go together in the same brain, right? So what's a problem that's created from that in marketing and in business? Well, a lot of times, somebody who's really good at inspirational communication, it tries to build their business in a way where that fundamental way of building a business is built for people that are fundamentally more analytical, right? And somebody analytical goes out there and they spend thousands of dollars flying around seminars and going to meet hippie gurus and stuff like this. They spend this money flying around the world to go to learn all these skills that really they just kind of suck at. They're just not good. You know what I'm saying? When they learn the skills, they analyze it and it makes sense to them. And after analyzing it and it making sense, they're still not very good at the skill. They still don't have a high ability to do it. And I've seen this play out in the marketing world in a lot of different ways. For example, at Empower Network, we have, in addition to the product that you're going to buy in this live stream, in addition to the products you can buy in the back office, at Empower Network, we have people that market in all kinds of different ways. We've got people like Justin Berengia that have a predominant skill set of inspirational communication. And then we've got people like Tony Rush, whose predominant skill set really is his ability to be analytical and to structure business decisions, right? We've got people that are somewhat of a combination, and we've got people that are neither of the above. We've got people who just kind of build their businesses by being loving and nice. We've got people that are building their businesses, that are blogging, that are creating the circles around them in all sorts of different ways. Let me give you an example. We were just at an event, and we had 2 people sitting at a table that were making significantly over $30,000 a month. One of the people at the table was Nicole Cooper, and one of the people at the table was Chris Jones, right? Well, when Chris Jones found out Nicole Cooper doesn't really do any paid advertising at all, he about had a heart attack and died, right? He's like, what are you talking about? So you're just like keeping all the money. She's like, well, yeah, I'm not good at paid ads. He's like, well, I built my business only from paid ads. Why? Because Chris Jones has more of an analytical, structured mind. And Nicole Cooper is, what she would call a blue, but really what you would call she's got like a social, inspirational personality. And usually social, inspirational personalities are horrible at paid advertising and analytics, and it takes them all day to do something they could hire somebody else to do, and they do a worse job at it. But you get them around people, you get them on Facebook, you get them the ability of having communication with others, and all of a sudden they can step into a new space, and they can step into new power, and they can start making money now in their business, and they can do it while they're having a life at the same time. So my question for you is, what are you good at? And what are your strengths, and what strengths and resources do you have that you are good at that are going to help you get the results that you want? Let me give you an example. After our event, I was sitting downstairs after going out with some of the leaders, and there was a gentleman downstairs who just says, you know what, David, I can't succeed at anything. I fail at everything in life. And I said, everything? He said, yeah, everything. And I looked at him again, and I said, what are you good at? And he says, well, you know, I'm good at guitar. And so I said, are you good at guitar? Or are you really good? How good are you? He says, oh, I'm really good. And so I said, okay, what else are you good at? Can you sing? And he says, oh, I'm real good at singing. And I say, okay, what else are you good at? You have kids? And he says, yeah, I have kids. I said, they turn out okay? He says, yes. I said, so you're a good parent. And I said, what else are you good at? And I just asked him, what are you good at, for about 10 minutes. And I found like 100 things this guy was good at that revolved around a couple of core skills. And here he was saying he doesn't succeed in anything. When the reality was, he just wasn't making the money he wants in his business because he was focusing on his financial outcomes, which up until that point in his life had been crappy. And why had they been crappy? They had been crappy because he had been trying to get good at things that he sucks at and are impossible for a man like him to learn. So by re-engaging and refocusing your energy towards a skill set, towards a way of marketing, towards a way of living, towards a way of doing business, I'm not talking about doing what you love. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about doing what's in your natural inclination to do and then deciding to let go of control in the other aspects of your business by surrounding yourself with people that make up for where you're weak. That is an ability of a real leader in this industry. That's the ability of somebody that can go out there and they can make millions of dollars a year. That's the ability of somebody that can be transformational to generations of people, right? Let me give you an example of how we did that. You know, Dave Sharp and I started working together, and here's why we started working together. Because he was really good at some stuff that I wasn't good at. And I was really good at some stuff that he wasn't good at. And we both worked hard all day and night, and we both were willing to put our heart, our soul, and our energy into a project, and we were willing to do it in our own unique way. Dave Sharp made up for a massive deficiency that I had in creating businesses, because I was always able to sell. I was always able to inspirationally communicate. I was always able to teach. However, I was missing a core skill set built around certain kinds of implementation that was filled by David Sharp. Well, after David Sharp and I started building the company, here's what happened. Within a month, we had over 10,000 customers in different countries around the world, right? We had no employees. We had nobody doing customer service, right? So we had to start looking at ourselves and what we were doing. And our energy shifted from what we were good at to what we weren't good at. And immediately the sales dipped in Power Network because we were going off of our core strength and our core skill set. So what we did was we said, what do we need now? We needed some customer service employees that we hired. Well, when we hired customer service, all of a sudden people stopped canceling their websites because they could get their problems answered. Right? And our company grew and our company expanded, and we were each doing the job of about 15 people in the organization. We were managing customer service people, we were hiring and firing, we were out there doing marketing and sales, we were out there inspirationally communicating with the leaders, we were on the phone with event planners every day trying to get the events. And then one day I was in a conversation with a guy who had been an operations manager for a company over in China that had gotten to $250 million a year in sales. And I was on the phone with him, and I could never forget this conversation where he said, Dave, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure, man, what's up? And he said, who runs your company? Because I hope to God it's not you. Right, now that'd be taken to some people by a stab in the, like a stab in the gut. But to me, I actually burst into laughter. And I said, what are you talking about? You know, I kind of stopped because I'd never actually ran a company before. I'd always just sold stuff. And he said, well, who's running your operations? And I said, and then I asked a smart question. I said, who should be doing this? Curtis. And he said, great question, Dave. You need a chief operations officer. You need one, like yesterday. Because if you don't get one, your company's going to be ran into the ground because you guys got too many operational infrastructure problems. And this starts getting 5 times bigger, which, by the way, it's gotten more than 5 times bigger since then. He says, you guys, your infrastructure will crack and break, and your company will break into pieces, right? So I said, well, how do I hire an operations guy? He said, well, how do you hire your employees? And I said, well, we've hired HR consultants who's pre-interview people that they brought them to us, and then we've decided on who to bring in and who not to bring in. He says, great, go talk to him. So we went to a guy who had a business where he was doing operations consulting, and that guy's name was Jerry Ballard. Well, Jerry had his own business where he was flying around the country and helping other people hire and fire employees. He'd actually hired and fired
more than 5,000 people over the last, right? So Dave Sharp went to Jerry and he said, Jerry, this is what we need. And he described the position and what we wanted them to do. And that description is we got from this other guy. Well, he described what we need, and then Jerry said, well, I might be interested in that. Dave said, really? And he popped on the phone. He said, Dave, the guy who's hired all our best employees is interested in the operations job. And he's done stuff like this before. And so I said, great, let's fly out to meet him. So I flew out to St. Petersburg, Florida, and sat down and talked to Jerry. And here's what I saw. I saw that he had a gift and a talent and a heart to do the things that I suck at, to do the things that had I continued to do would have, and it's not just that I was continuing to do them, it's really all the stuff that wasn't getting done, that needed to get done that we didn't even know about, and then a core skilled person was able to fill that role, right? Well, we started having the same infrastructure issues around technology because our site started getting so big, it started getting so many page views, we started rising up in the Alexa rings to where we needed somebody to manage technology. Now, up until that point, I had been managing the technology along with Dave Sharp, who had gotten more frustrated with it and was focusing the majority of his energy on marketing, and I was focusing on working with all these developers. Here's the reality, though. Stuff was taking forever to get done. It wasn't getting done well, right? And it wasn't getting done the way a CTO could get it done. We needed to fill a role that was empty in our company of somebody who had the same infrastructure management capability with technology. And I called up Jerry and I said, Jerry, we need somebody to manage this technology. He says, what do you need them to do? And I described the position, and then he says, we need a CTO. Right? So he brought in our chief technology officer, which is Casey Muse. Now when Casey came in, EN version 2 was just an idea. It was an idea that I had created from my mind, along with Dave Sharp, along with some people who do design work and stuff like this. It was a way for you to get started in a business, to get started building a website faster than setting up a Facebook account, and have the ability to go out there and just make money blogging, or just make money in your business quickly, right? And so we had built this idea, but every idea for technology has to have technology that's actually built. I was not good at managing technology teams, so we brought Casey in, and he really got excited because of the Blog Beast, Empower Network version 2, and what it had the ability to do, the way that it's going to change the way people communicate, the way people share information, the way people blog on the internet, the way it's going to change the infrastructure of how blogging is done, the way it's going to change the way direct sales and network marketing is done, the way it's going to change the way business is done on the internet. He got really excited about the idea, and he managed some big projects. Never anything quite this big. Well, Casey came in, and all of a sudden, it was like a building was lifted off my shoulders because I could see above the water and look into the vision of the clouds again and realize that there's something more out there and there's something more that we can do if I just focus my energy and attention on the vision, on where we're going, on the people that are making decisions to take action. And all of a sudden, I have the people around me to get the job done. Now, there's still holes and there's still gaps that happen in our company. And our talent has now become learning to recognize those gaps and who needs to fill them. Learning who is it that needs to be in this role to make up for this deficiency that we have so we can focus on what it is that we're good at, right? Where's this all heading? Where it's heading is this. When you buy this and you make a decision and you're focusing on your outcome, I want you to realize that you are going to be good at 2 or 3 things. And where those areas are, you're going to be good. And everything else that you're going to try to do probably for the rest of your life, the truth is, if I'm just really honest with you, you're going to probably be awful, right? You're not even going to be bad. You're just going to be awful at them, right? And if you choose to focus on where you're awful, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to feel discouraged. You're gonna. What some lady in our web said she was backsliding. I said, backsliding? What do you mean? Like you're not following the commandments, right? And she started laughing along with everybody else, right? We don't backslide if there's not a religion in place, but you guys are welcome to join at any time. That was just a funny thing to say, right? But this lady said that she, backslid, right? Well, the reality is, why do people have energy that fluctuates like this all the time? Well, what happens is when you start building a business in an organization, you start having problems pop up in different areas of the business. And usually what an entrepreneur does is they start focusing their energy on everything around the business, right? They start serving the customers and selling to the customers and doing the marketing and putting together the marketing material and managing the operations of the company. And they literally run around like a ragged dog doing all these works. And really, the money that they make is from doing one or two things. Well, when you take your attention off those one or two things, your income goes down, but also you get signals from your unconscious mind that create resistance in yourself taking massive action. Let me give you an example of that. I built a business without any phone calls. In fact, I actually do have a phone now. Didn't for the longest time. But if I pull this phone out and I turn it on, I've got like, one or two phone calls that I get a day, right? If I click on here and I click on the phone, today, actually I've got no phone calls, right? So if we look at this, right, yesterday, I got 2 phone calls from one of my lawyers. I don't know if you can see that, right? 2. That was yesterday. That's actually the only phone calls I got yesterday. Now today, which is Wednesday, I have 0 phone calls, 0. And with 0 phone calls, I am running a company that is doing $1.5, $1.8, $2 million sometimes a week in sales with a phone that gets no phone calls, right? How is that even possible if you compare that to normal network marketing? Well, it's possible because a few years ago, I kept getting discouraged because I was calling people and they weren't getting in. And I would muster up courage, I would do positive affirmations, I would pace around my room and I'd say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. But then I would pick up the phone and my heart would sink, right? And it was like grinding through this awful pile of emotion, right? Now, not everybody experiences that, but there's a lot of people who get discouraged from doing phone calls. It's actually a really common problem, right? Where somebody goes out there and they're trying to get results in their business, they're trying to they're trying to create income, and they're doing something where there's massive, massive, massive internal resistance. Now, what the world tells you to do is they tell you overcome the resistance. They say, do affirmations. I can make phone calls. I can make phone calls. I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for it. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I can do it. And they tell you to just get excited about stuff. When the reality is, you suck at it. And your unconscious mind is trying to tell you, I hate this, right? And if you hate it, truthfully, what are you good at? Because when I started putting down the phone, it was like simultaneously my hand reached up and it picked up the paycheck, right? That's what happened. It was like I put down the phone and I picked up the paycheck. The second I started putting down the phone, and I stopped trying to prospect, and I stopped trying to chase people around, and I stopped trying to get other people to do what I wanted, and instead, I focused on what I'm good at. I focused on where my skills are at. I focused on sharing my voice with the world, with my talent with the world, with my heart with the world. And when I started focusing on what I'm good at and where I'm talented and gifted and skilled, instantaneously I started making a lot of money, literally within 3 months. Within 90 days of deciding to put down the phone, I was picking up massive checks every single month because I was able to operate in my core skill set, because my core skill set, if you haven't noticed, is inspirational communication. I may not be the best person in the world at getting people to webinars, but I'll tell you something, when people get to webinars, they decide to buy. When people get in Empower Network, they decide to get all in. When people get in my team, they decide to stick with the vision. When people get to events and they get around me, they make new decisions about who they are and what they can do and what's possible for the future of their lives. When people get around me, they start making new decisions automatically, and I've gotten so good at that, it almost seems like I've got magical powers. I had some really interesting experiences the last event for this, right? So that's some background stuff that I'm going to give you just because I wanted to help you focus your energy so you can lift your head above the distractions and all the things that are going to attack you in your life that are going to keep you back from making lots of money now by simply making a decision and following through with that decision, walking in who you are, which remember is different than who I am, right? I want you to focus on your gifts, your talents, your ability to inspire, your ability to create, your ability to lift people up, your ability that you have that's implanted in you through genetics or through spirituality or whatever's there doing it, your gifts that are there that are unique to you that is a gift to the world. Because I'm telling you something, Fred. I don't care if you've been poor your whole life. I don't care if you've been trying to do network marketing for 10 years and you still suck at it. I don't care if you've made 8 million phone calls and you ain't rich yet. And I don't care if you're rich but you feel discouraged inside because your team ain't making money. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your life, I can relate to you even if I haven't been in your shoes. And I'm telling you something, Fred. You have got inside of you a gift to the world. You've got something inside of you that is meant and designed by some mechanism to help you reach out there and to lift other people up. You've got something inside that needs to be shared on a blogging platform. You've got something inside that needs to be shared on a stage of thousands and thousands of people. And I can see the day where there's somebody on this live stream, on the page now, and they're not even in. And they're clicking the button right now and pulling out their credit card, and as they are making a new decision unconsciously to align themselves with a team of people that are moving places where they cannot go on their own. And they've just realized, as in hearing the sound of my voice, that it is more powerful to be unified than it is to be right all the time. It's more powerful to unify a group of people around an idea than it is to try to create the entire idea on your own. It's more powerful sometimes to make less money but help other people make more, and in the end you end up making more because you decided to be a servant. It's more powerful to realize that when you surround yourself with gifted and talented people, not only do they love you more, but you can do things that you could never do on your own. And I invite you right now to join us in that and to buy this platform we've been talking about. It's been all over Facebook. You've seen the videos a million times. And it's time to pull out your credit card and decide to buy now, because we're going somewhere. And the question is, are you? Are you? And where are you going? Right? And what are you going to do? So here's what I'm going to do. Right now, my time is 7:50, okay? And I don't know what times I'm in. I live in Costa Rica, okay, which is sometimes Mountain Time, sometimes Central Time. I never pay attention to what time it is in the rest of the world. What I'm going to do in the next minute or two is I'm going to put the whiteboard somewhere where I can write on. Actually, probably right behind me, so I can just stay standing down. I was going to pull out a microphone and step back a little bit further, but my microphone isn't plugging into my computer properly, so I'm going to have to do that another time when we're not live. So I'm going to move my whiteboard over here because I want to draw some stuff out for you. And what I want to draw out for you is a formula for wealth creation. Okay? And I'm not going to be talking about being a billionaire here, because I don't know how to be a billionaire yet. What I am going to talk about is I'm going to talk about the structure of creating almost a magical amount of money. Now, I can warn you in advance of that. That does not guarantee that you'll make money. The formula doesn't guarantee anything other than that it's a guide, it's a path to go out there and create wealth in your business. Because the one thing I can't guarantee is, are you going to stick with this and stay around in order to make it happen? And here's what I can promise you. I can promise you that people who have followed this formula, okay, which is a real honest formula for creating income and creating wealth, people who have followed it have created incredibly massive results. I can also tell you that the people who have not followed it the way that I'm going to describe have not created those same results, and they've continued to struggle and be in pain in their business. So I want you to be among those who get the result, so I want you to pay attention. In the meantime, here's what I want you to do. We're going to have 2 or 3 minutes while I'm getting this set up. I want you to, number 1, get clear on your goals. Number 2, make sure that you're in, because I'm going to show you how to do this a lot easier by being a part of our blogging platform. I'm going to show you how to do this a lot easier by making a decision to buy. I'm going to show you how to do it cheaper, faster, and better than you can do anywhere else, because you made a decision to do it here, to lock arms with us, to fight the forces of evil, and to lift other people up, inspirationally communicating with them with your unique talents and gifts. And so, take 2 or 3 minutes. I'm actually going to go grab my cup of coffee that I made ages ago, set up the whiteboard, and make sure that I can share these ideas with you, because what I'm going to show you is powerful. All right? And while we're at it, leave your thoughts on what you've learned so far in the comments. All right, here. I'm going to turn my camera off, folks. If people ask, where I am, just tell them I'll be back in a second here. Actually, I can just leave this thing on while I do this. Hold on a second here. All right.
Let me make sure I can draw this out. Pull over here. And I gotta make sure you guys can hear me okay. Can you guys, hold on, from this distance, can you guys hear me okay, or is it just like too echoey to even pay attention to? Just tell me. Because I don't have my microphone, so I need to know. Hold on, let me go back to the live stream page. I'm working for the next stream that I do. I wasn't actually aware that the new MacBooks don't have that microphone hole. They just have a hole for headphones, which is a little strange. If any of you know where that is, that'd be great. But just tell me. Standing back here, can you guys hear this okay, or is it echoing too bad? Oh yeah, we're getting that. Somebody says I need a broadcast engineer. Trust me, working on it. Getting a just all-around video guy out here. But by the way, good point, isn't it? You know, I need somebody doing this stuff so I can just get on and deliver. Right? You can hear me fine? Okay, guys, I'm going to take a couple minutes, clarify your outcome, click the button and join, make sure that you're in, and you're getting ready, and then I'm going to draw some stuff out for you to help you get results, and that's what we're going to spend the rest of the night doing, is just talking about how to go out there and create one of your business. Be right back. All right, folks, coming back in here now, and we're going to get going. Again, I'm going to get this, somebody said I need a sound engineer and all that stuff, and somebody, designed my broadcasts, So I'm actually going to do that. Hold on a second. I'm back, and let me just actually, I'm going to adjust this because this makes more sense if I can stand from this angle, just from how I talk and how I do this. I have the most hilarious issues. Doing these things. Hold on a second here. Oh, that was hilarious. I'm going to need to get my other whiteboard stand. Then I need something else here. And this is all in a new house too, so some of this is new. Hold on, I need one more thing. I'll be right back. So, you guys can hear me okay? You guys can see, you can hear, everything like that? All right, good. There's going to be a little bit of echo going on, but it's all right. I've actually done before, I've been on streams like this, like what I'm doing right now, and on things like this, I've done over $200,000 in sales in the crappiest audio that you've ever heard in your life. And so it doesn't really matter because, as you're hearing the bugs in the background, the cars driving by, and my echoey, room that we've got here because my good microphone can't plug into my Mac. You can also realize that by having those distractions around, you can lean in, focus, and pay attention. And by paying more attention, you can even get more out of this than you would if the sound was perfect. By just deciding to pay attention through all the distractions, and that's the beautiful thing, isn't it? So hold on just one more second here, and then I'm going to paint this up. Now, keep in mind what I'm going to draw out here for you today. There is more to learn, okay?
in all parts of the process. But this is the basics of it, okay? This is the basics of it. And in everything in life, no matter if you're doing martial arts or if you're building a business, or if you're, if you're going out there and meeting people, there's really a few skills. There's a few ideas that are the foundation for everything, that really control whether you're creating results or not. These few ideas are what you need to focus on. And by focusing on the few ideas, right, it's like focusing on the strengths. Let me actually give you a great example with technology, right? If you have websites of any kind, your website has to be ran on some kind of a server infrastructure, right? And server infrastructures are pre-built technology that run, code on that make websites appear on the internet. Now, most people, when they're going and they're setting up websites, they use a system called CPAN, right? If you guys have ever had like a HostGator account, and you've gone into the back office, you've installed WordPress or something like that from CPAN, if you've ever done anything like that, then you know what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of buttons everywhere. That is the hosting infrastructure. It's technology that runs behind that allows software to run the websites. Well, when we started building our company, we originally actually had our whole thing hosted on, hosted on CPAN. Well, our developer immediately moved it to a system called Nginx, right? Now, here's an interesting thing. Nginx does not do all the things cPanel does. cPanel can do like 10,000 more things than Nginx can do. Those of you who are developers, you know what I'm talking about. However, when you have a website, even a huge website with hundreds of millions of visitors a month like we have today, right? Here's the reality, and here's the interesting thing. There's only really 6 or 10 things that hosting infrastructure needs to do. And Nginx doesn't do all of them, but every one of those things that it does do, it does 1,000 times better, 1,000 times faster, and 1,000 times more efficiently with resources, which is really important when you're running a website that has a lot of traffic. And when you're running a business that has a lot of business, it's really important that you're efficient at blocking and tackling and the basics. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so let me actually draw up a formula for it. And I'm going to start with a really quick review of what I went over yesterday, and then I'm going to get into what you need to do now to create more results in your business and more results in your life, and how to do this better, quicker, and faster by just deciding to align focus your energy in a new way towards new things. All right, let me draw some of those things out for you. And yesterday we were talking about the core things that you need. Right? We got number 1. You need a clear outcome in your business, right? If you're not clear on where you're going, and if you're not clear on what you want in your business and your life, here's the thing. You're going to hit, which means you're going to hit nothing. And I have people come to me all the time who say that they're clear, but the reality is they're not clear at all. They actually don't know what it is they want. They say things like, well, I want to make more money. And I respond with, well, how much more? And how will you know that you've hit it, right? Because you got to understand, if you're running a business, it's significantly different than having a job, and just setting an income goal doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you're in business, you need to set a profit goal. Because how many of you guys realize, this is an example of people setting unclear outcomes? $10,000 a month, right, is very, very, very different than $10,000 a month in profit. Right? You guys know that? See, sometimes people go out there and they say, I'm a 6-figure earner, but they're really keeping about $1,000 a month because they're spending most of their money, reinvesting it back into their business, and they're not really making that much money. What they're doing is they're creating a real income, a real profit of $1,000 a month. This is an example of a really common unclear outcome where people don't really define the boundaries of what's going to create the result. And the thing is about your unconscious mind doesn't really interpret this stuff, it just creates it. And whatever you're focused on is what you're going to create. If you're on this page right now, and you're focused on going and creating $10,000 a month in revenue, well, you want to go out there and create $10,000 a month in revenue and keep none of your income, right? You want to make sure that what you're focused on is actually something that makes sense and is clearly defined and has boundary conditions on it. And if you really want to know a place that can really teach you how to do that well, if you buy the 15K formula, which is one of the products we have here in Power Network, webinar number 1, I talk about setting clear outcomes. And actually, through several webinars in that series, I teach you how to clarify those outcomes to get a better result in your business. All right. Number 1, you got an outcome, right? Your outcome has got to be clear. Okay? Number 2 thing that you need is you need to have a vehicle, right? You need to have a vehicle in order to get what you want in your business. Now, if you don't have a vehicle, you've got to create one. Okay? So you have a choice in business where if you're going to go out there and you're going to create, for example, a financial outcome, you need to have a vehicle to create that financial outcome, right? If you're going to get a result, you need a vehicle to create that result. If you want to get somewhere in town, you need a vehicle to get to that place in town. If your vehicle is your legs, it's going to get there a little slower than if your vehicle is a Ferrari, right? You want to make sure that you've got a fast, efficient vehicle in order to get the results you want. And so what you want to look for is you want to match the vehicle with your outcome, right? And people get all sorts of screwy ideas on this because sometimes you have people say things like, I'm just sticking with it. I'm just, I'm going to be in this thing till the end of time. You know what I'm saying? But they've got an outcome, and their outcome is going this direction, right? And then they've got a vehicle, and their vehicle is going in this direction. They don't match, right? So if your outcome is a financial outcome, if your outcome is to create a certain amount of profit every month, if your outcome is to create a particular result in your business, you want to make sure that the vehicle that you have matches the outcome that you want. You want to make sure that you are actually having something to drive that can get you to that place in town. Because if I try to walk to San Jose, truthfully, I'll probably never get there. Because even if I could walk that far in a day, which probably, truthfully, I can't, right? Because my ankle could get sore because I got a sprained ankle, or I wouldn't get there, or probably I'd get mugged trying to walk down there because people would see the expensive jewelry on my hand and try to mug me or something like that at gunpoint, right? If I want to get to central San Jose, I've got to pop in a car, right? I got to pop in a car. And if I'm going to pop in a car, why not get in a car? Why not get in a vehicle that actually makes sense for what I'm here to do? And that's going to be different depending on what you want. Okay? You want a vehicle that actually makes sense, right? And then number 3, you need a system, right? And what systems? Systems are things that systems. What they do is they systematize things that you really don't want to be doing in the business. They save you time, energy, and money through other people, other resources, technology you don't understand. Basically, what a system is there to do is to do things that truthfully you don't want to do that are going to help you make more money. Customer service is part of the system. Technology infrastructure is part of the system. The way things are sold can be a part of the system. Basically, almost everything can be systematized. And I would actually venture to say that everything in your life, except for the 1 or 2 things that you're good at, should actually be systematized, right? Either by us or by somebody else that you hire. Because if you don't have systems running the things that you're not good at, somebody gave a great example. They said you need an audio, video, sound engineer to set up your live streams. And I actually saw that, and I just want to give that guy a hug. You know what I'm saying? And just said, I should have thought of that like 2 years ago when I'm always late to these live streams, and I'm always struggling last second to set them up, and then I'm in the middle of talking about not focusing on your weaknesses, and somebody pops in the comments, dude, you need an audio, video, sound engineer, which I was actually looking for a video guy, hired one, had to fire him, right? I'm still looking for a talented video person in Costa Rica, and that's one of the things that they'll probably do, right? You need systems to save you time, to save you energy, to save you money, so you can focus on what you're good at and have things working around you and all the things that you're not. Now, sometimes the frustrating part about that is when you're new, when you're just getting started in your business, you don't have the financial resources, right? You don't have them to be able to create your own systems. You don't have financial resources to be able to go and hire a CTO, to be able to go and hire a chief marketing officer, to be able to hire a COO. You just don't have them, and you don't have the knowledge and expertise because you're new, right? Or you've never done that before. To get good ones, even if you did it, and the truth is that they're expensive. You know what I mean? First employee we hired, where it was like a multiple 6-figure income, my heart was like, you know what I'm saying? but that person is the best hiring decision we ever made. Right? Second person we hired with multiple six-figure income, right? But they're worth it, right? Systems can be made up from people, they can be made up from technology. There are background processes that run on their own to help you create your outcome in your business. Now, the problem is, not every vehicle has good systems. Most systems are inefficient, and they don't really create the results, right? What's the problem with that? The problem with that is, it's like having a Ferrari and filling it with the wrong kind of oil, or filling it with the wrong kind of gasoline, right? You put diesel into a gasoline tank, it destroys the engine. And a lot of people are out there on the internet doing things like that, where they've got a vehicle, it might not be the best vehicle in the first place, but then they're filling it with the wrong kind of fuel, and they're filling it with the wrong kind of energy and attention. And the car will go anywhere, they can't figure out why. They're like, I turn the key, right? But they don't realize they got to push the gas at the same time and shift it into the right gear, right? You got to operate the vehicle, and you've got to have systems in place in order to do it. Now, the remaining part of the gap, right, is what I talked about last night, where I said I was going to get tonight, and I've talked around in circles a little bit, right, is strategy. And strategy means more than technical skills, okay? Strategy is what's going to focus the direction you're moving into and how you're going to get there, right, how you're going to get there. And this is really what it's going to do. If you look at what you want to do in life, and most of you, it has financial outcomes. Right? You guys want to make more money. You guys want more money in your bank accounts. You guys just bought a blogging platform. You're in, right? You want to get from point A, which is your present state, over here, and you want to make it over here to point B, which is the desired outcome that you've got. And in between point A and point B, right, there's only one path that's a straight line. There's only one. And this path is the shortest way to get there. Now here's the problem. You are never going to predict the exact straight line of your outcome. You can't, right? And if you're doing a really good job, and this is what strategy does, right? You're going to go like this. You're going to get off your outcome, course correct, get off your outcome again, course correct, get off your outcome again, course correct, and you're going to go up and down, course correctly, until you get to the outcome that you want, until you create the result you want in your business, right? You're going to try things that don't work. You're going to spend money on advertising that doesn't work. You're going to try strategies that don't work the way that you want. You're going to create situations where you're not succeeding as fast as you want, and you need to learn something new. Now, most people would take that as, like I'm failing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting results. However, right, what I want you to do is I want you to take it differently. Right? I want you to look at this not as failure. I want you to look at feedback to correct your course of action. You try something that doesn't work, what is it? It's a feedback mechanism that says it's time to change your strategy just a little bit. When a rocket heads to the moon, controlled by NASA, it's off course not 1%, but 99% of the time. And it needs to have constant course corrections in order to stay on the path. When I was a kid, I used to see my dad driving, he'd go like this on the road all the time. You know what I mean? And I used to, in order to go straight in the car, that you actually needed to move the steering wheel like this because I saw it adults doing it. But what are adults actually doing when they're driving cars? They're not just like going this because they're being crazy, they're going this because roads have bumps and curves in them that take you off the path. And if you just leave your car moving in a straight line, it will gradually move off a road that even looks straight. You guys realize that? So even when you have a path that looks like it goes from point A to point B, the path never really goes directly from point A to point B. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to go up one month, you'll go down the next, and then you'll go up higher, right? Some people get discouraged when it goes down, not realizing that that's just a stock market graph, right? I had some situations in my business real early on. I remember I came in, my first month on the internet, I made like $15. Next month I made like $800. Next month I made like $30,000 or something, right? And then the next month I made like $50,000, and then the next month it was back down to like 30, right? Now most people, this is what they do. They go up like this, they're up like this, they're up like this, and then they drop, and then they get discouraged, right? Not realizing that dropping back down to about 30,000 is still 10 times more money in a month than I had ever made in a month previously, right, 4 months ago. And it's not such bad course correction. And it took me a lot of time of going from 35,000 to 29,000 to 45,000 to 35,000 to 40,000 to 30,000 for a couple of years before I realized, right, what course corrections I needed to make in order to change my outcome, in order to change my business. Right? Does that make sense to you? So the reason I'm pointing this out is because even though I'm going to lay out something very simple to you, when you do the simple thing is there's a guiding mechanism so you can use it to steer your car going down the road. If you're aiming towards your goal of $10,000 a month and you're doing a good job and you're following the system, you still need to do this. You still need to make course corrections. You still need mentors. You still need to pop up webinars. You still need to listen to audios. You still need to correct things along the way. Does that make sense to you? All right. So let me actually paint out for you how money is made, and then let me talk about the formula for creating quickly, and then I'm going to encourage you to make a decision. Right? This is how money is really. This is how wealth is created. The simplest way I'm going to explain it. Okay. And then I'm going to build around some formulas to it. And I'm going to talk about where the blog fits into that. So if you haven't bought it, just buy it. It's $25. And if you don't like it, fine, cancel it. No big deal. It's the best technology that exists out there. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But let me talk about the actual formula in order to create your results. And let me talk about how the money is made and then how to actually make it. Right? And if you follow this process, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's way easier to do than you can imagine. Now, here's what I want you to step into for a second. I want you to step into a realization that making money can happen differently than it's happened for you before. Okay? Now, I picked up on this philosophy a few years back, and I actually kind of invented this, but it's got rudiments of other philosophies that I ran into on creating money. Right? I started making a lot of money on the internet from selling stuff, and then I started to ask a different question. I started to ask the question, where does the money that I'm creating actually come from? Right? When I've received money into my life, where does it come from? Right? And I've even got a few reference experiences. I've sold things, right, my whole life, my whole adult life. When I was 18, I was selling vacuums, and then I was in Amway, and then I did network marketing for years, and I was a missionary, right, which is the same thing, selling religion. I've been convincing of things my entire adult life. That's what I've done kind of my whole life, is I've convinced people to buy stuff, right? So I've said, well, I've sold stuff. I've had jobs where the boss has given me a wage, right? And I've done other things where I've received money. And there's only one thing in common with all the ways of receiving money. It's that another person who had it gave that money to me in exchange for something that they found more valuable than the money. So if I had a job, right, I would go there and I would give my time, and I would give my energy, and I would give my skills to the job, and then the boss would give me in exchange for that money, right? Because my skills and my time hopefully was worth more than the money they gave me. And if my skills weren't worth more, the boss would fire me, right? I got fired a lot because I'm bad at a lot of stuff, right? So somebody with money would give that money to me in the hopes of exchanging it for something that they find more valuable than the money. And in my life, right, not talking about economics, not talking about gold and silver, fiat currency, and this crazy stuff, that is the only place that I have received money. And that's the only thing that's been common. So I've actually got a few choices, right? Number one is a job. And what's that? Somebody's essentially exchanging money for your time. Worst kind of thing ever if you've got the heart of an entrepreneur. Nothing wrong with being an employee, but if you've got the heart of an entrepreneur, that can be brutal for you because you can put in more work in the same amount of time, you can make the same amount of money. Right? Unless you got a boss who appreciates you, recognizes you, you pay more, you produce more, you're kind of stuck. Right? The other thing that you can do is you can be in something like sales. Right? And what sales does is if you're a salesperson, you go out there and usually sell a product, and in exchange for selling the product to the customer gives the company money. The company cuts you a percentage of the money from the products that you sold, right? But it's still a linear-based income. In other words, you can only sell as much as the time you have and the systems that you can personally build. And most sales jobs don't have systems. They're involved with knocking on doors, making cold calls, and closing deals that you found, right? The advantage is if you produce more, right, the company is going to give you a relatively larger amount of money so you can work harder, you can work more efficiently in the same amount of time, right? And you can create a larger income, but it's still one person, company, right, who's essentially giving you the money. Then here's the other option that I discovered, and this is when I really started to make a lot of money. The other option was realizing that I could have customers, right, who give me money. And here's the thing. The fulfillment of the product, the fulfillment of the service, whatever it is, to the customers does not need to be done by me. They just need to actually get the product. They just actually need to receive the login system. They just actually need to be able to log in on the website. Here's the difference between this model and these other two models of making money in a business. And I really want you to wrap your head around this, because even though some of you are trying to do it already, you don't really understand the value in what you're doing, and you don't really understand how big it can get. Here's the difference. If you have a boss who gives you money in exchange for your time, you've got one person who's responsible for your entire income. Okay? If you're a salesperson, you've got one company, one system, you've got one product or something like that that's essentially responsible for your income. And really, that's you, right? If you get discouraged, if you get sick of making calls, if you get burnt out, your income goes down, right? Because you only have so much of an ability to produce. However, if you have customers who give you money, it's possible to have 200,000 customers, for example, in a Power Network, giving you money every month. Now, what's the great thing about having 200,000? It's still the system. Somebody is giving you money in exchange for something that they want, they find more valuable, right? Only the difference is, if like 20,000 of them leave that month, you've still got 90% of your income. So in other words, if you get discouraged and you can't promote as much, or if you need a time off, or if you need a break, or if some of your customers decide to leave or whatever, you're doing your best to keep as many around as possible, it doesn't really affect your income that much, right? Unlike having like a normal profession, a normal job, you can have a lot of people who are giving you money in exchange for a product or service. And the more efficient your system is, the more people you can have giving you money every month, and the more of them you can keep around, the better the lifestyle you have. And the beautiful thing is all the stuff in normal businesses, in normal jobs, in normal organizations, in normal professions that other people create, you don't have to do. Okay? Now, within this, in creating customers, this is going to be our focus. I'm going to teach you the model of creating an exponentially expanding customer base in your business, in your life, and for really making a lot of money fast. And if you really want to take advantage of this, click the button just below this video and just get in the login system. I'm going to show you how the rest of this fits in here in a second. Okay? This is the way that I can make all my money on the internet. And when I discovered this, it was like I became a magical Jew. And I was able to rub myself and grant myself wishes, because I was able to do things that I had worked my entire life and never been able to do. And it wasn't a natural ability that was missing. It was having the right kind of a vehicle of knowledge that was missing that prevented me from doing it. Okay? This is the way that you're going to create customers, right? It's through something called a funnel. And you guys have seen this a lot, like mapped up on the internet, and I know you probably barely see it online. But this is the way the funnel looks like on the internet. On the internet, first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have like a website, right? Hold on a second. I got to remember, you probably can't hear me that well, so I don't have a microphone when facing work. So I'll write something and then I'll turn it back. And that website needs to have products to sell. Okay? You need to have something on the front end in order to sell it, right? Like for example, in Power Network, our front end product is the blogging system, right? And then you need to have upsells. And what should you upsell? You should upsell things that fit along with the core message of your business, that help your customers to get better and bigger results, and really are more advanced skill sets for people in different positions in business. You really want to move on higher, and you should have upsells until the point where it becomes less efficient to continue to happen, right? There is a point of, like, when you start losing money by selling too much stuff to people, and I see people do that all the time, where they burn out their customer base, or they burn out their list because they're going from product launch, product launch, product launch, product launch, product launch, product launch. They're never really taking care of their people. And there is a point where this stops being effective, where you really need to take care of your people better and get more customers, not create more upsells and not create more of a mess in your life. Right? For example, in Power Network, I'll lay out the upsells that we've got here in a second. And I'm going to show you actually, if you want to be an affiliate here, how to make money. And if you don't want to be an affiliate, you want to be a customer here, I'm going to paint out the same process. It's just that you're going to need to do a lot of this work yourself if you don't already have a company, you don't already have a system to be able to do this, right? But you need upsells, right? And what's going to happen is there's going to be ever-diminishing percentages of people that fall into each one of the upsells, right? Then what you need to do is drive traffic to the site. That becomes your job, right? The magic is in having something that makes more money within the first upsell or two than the money you're spending on the traffic, right? Let me give you an example of how I've created my entire business in Power Network, okay? I have a core message in Power Network where I teach people to get 2 customers a day, right? If we have an affiliate in Power Network and they're not getting the results they want, the first thing that I look at is I say, how many customers to the logging system are you bringing in the front end? Somebody comes in the front end and they pay $25 for that product, right? That generates a commission, obviously, $25 for one of our affiliates, right? And my first thing that I look at is what is your daily sales production in your business. And I have had a message for 4 years straight now since I've been on the internet where the core number you should be looking for as an affiliate selling really anything, right, is 2 new customers a day. Because, let me explain why. 2 new customers a day at a $25 loan platform. Because if you're getting 2 new customers a day, right, I can guide and direct the entire rest of your business and help you literally create almost anything. If you don't have the production of 2 customers a day, it's very difficult to fix everything that you're doing in your business. You need to go and actually go through training, and you need to figure out how to generate more traffic. You need to do it truthfully on your own. But once somebody has some very minimal daily production numbers, you can mold that and guide that, and you can advance it almost exponentially with the way somebody's created an income in your life. Let me give you an example of somebody who started to do this. I told Justin Barrett to do this. He came down to my house. He saw how easy it was because I was just hanging out with him, right, for a few days. And we actually teach you how to do all this stuff in the products. And the interesting thing is when he came down to my house, I would actually even answer his questions. He asked me a question, and I'd say, you know, that product's in the Costa Rican Mastermind Intensive video 5. Go watch that. And then he'd go and he'd click on the video for the product. He'd watch the product he already bought. He'd say, oh, I got it, right? And I told Justin you need to get 2 new customers a day. You know how fast we did that? About 1 month. Okay? That's how long it took him to do it because he was focused on doing it. Now, in making very small course corrections to Justin over the course of the next year and a half, he went from almost not being able to pay his rent to making $27,000 next month to where just a couple months ago he had his first month where he was actually close to $150,000. I don't know the exact number, but he's up there by making very tiny course corrections along the way. Because this is the step that's necessary to generate sufficient revenue on a daily basis in your business to reinvest into processing people and influencing things in order to make your business move faster. Does that make sense? When somebody does not have daily production in sales in their business, they're basically building a business off of like hope and prayer. Right? They're hoping that they're going to bring in the customer that turns to an affiliate that brings in 10,000 people. They're hoping that they're going to, you know, get somebody who like buys their product that goes out there and like creates this empire without them doing anything. They're hoping they're going to sponsor like a big Springs house or something, and that they could go hang out on the beach every day for the rest of their life. Well, Vic goes out there and does all the work. They keep all the money. They're not out there creating the business on their own. Let me actually give you an example of somebody that really learned this from me. And I'm not going to mention this person's name, but I was actually just talking to a gentleman in the Power Network that a handful of years ago, he got involved in a business, a network marketing company, where he had sponsored like a handful of like really successful leaders by picking up the phone and just kind of pounding the leaders into the phone. And he sponsored bunches of them. Okay? Well, what happened was they all came in because the deal was hot, right? And they blew up his income. And for the next 9 months straight, because the organization that he was in, so for 9 months, right, I believe it was, and he could correct me, right, his income went over $100,000 a month for 9 months straight, right? Well, what happened was those guys were the actual players, and how were they out there making the money and making him money? They were making money by bringing in daily sales numbers, and he made the money by getting the leadership, and then they went out there and they made the daily sales numbers, right? Well, what happened was one day they all decided to stop promoting. So his income essentially just dropped down to almost nothing, right? To almost zero, because he wasn't creating the income by his own daily sales numbers, right? Now here's the difference. Both models work well, right? If you focus on creating the daily sales numbers, when a leader pops up in your organization, they're a blessing that adds to your income, they're not creating it. So I go out there and without any leadership in my organization, just from my daily production along with Dave Sharp and I, without any leadership at all in our organization, make over $100,000 a month following this process because we focus on making daily sales numbers. So when we have somebody like Vic Strauss who gets in, when we have somebody like Tracy Barber who gets in, when we have somebody like Tony Rush who gets in, and we have somebody who gets in who's actually a leader and actually moves numbers and actually makes decisions, it dramatically expands the income, but our income is not reliant on those people being on board. Those people are a blessing. And here's the other part of having those people. They will stick around somebody who's out there producing sales. They will not stick around somebody who just gets them in one time. They won't stick around. If you want to keep leaders around, you got to lead by example and do what they need to do to build their income and then influence them and lift them up. So the core thing in your business when you're out there, and this is regardless really of what you're selling, and I'm going to focus here on what we do at Empower Network for the next bit as an affiliate. So I'll talk about that. I didn't really talk about it a lot during the launch. The core messages in here, what are your daily sales numbers and are they sufficient or do you work on that yet? And until this, it says at least 2 sales per day, I will not tell anybody to do anything different in their business other than learn how to optimize their traffic, learn how to get more leads, learn how to follow those leads better, and learn to do it better, more efficiently, and more economically until they're producing the daily sales numbers they need where they've actually got people to work with in their business, because once you've got this, anything is possible. I can literally help you create any kind of income that you want if you can do this one piece. And the beautiful thing is about going out there and selling something that only costs $25 is it's only $25 and it's really not that hard to sell. People buy things that are $25 all the time. When I was in network marketing years ago, I used to think about bringing in a new customer as this massive life-changing decision, right? It's a massive decision to go out there and to, buy it. It's a massive decision to join the business. It's like this huge, gigantic decision, right? And what I didn't realize was, really, it was like a $20 decision, $25 decision. And somebody would go to Walmart and was like saying, oh, I got to think about it. But they go to Walmart and buy $25 of stuff. And we're talking about people who make minimum wage, right? They go to Walmart with a credit card and they're at the stand and they buy $25 between magazines and candy and energy drinks before they get out of the line in Walmart. A $25 decision is a small enough decision where you can just pull out your credit card and you decide to do it. And I don't really care at this $25 decision whether or not people are going to decide to stick with it. Because I see this as really, they're getting in to see if this is a match to their outcome and their vision or not. And if it's a match to their outcome and vision, then those people should stay in. And if it's not a match, and if they want to go out there and sell lotions and potions and stuff that you can't make them any money, or if they want to go out there and use crappy products elsewhere or whatever, that's fine. If they want to get results in their business and they're really going to go out there and create change and they want to create big incomes, those are the people that stay in, and those are the people that continue to buy the rest of the upsells, right? Here's the key to building a large amount of money online, though. The money is not in the products you sell on the front end. That can make you a living. The fortune is made on the products people buy on the back end. Okay? What do people buy once they decide to get in? What do people continue to buy as they come to the events? What do people continue to buy as they get on the conference calls? What do people continue to buy as they're wanting to further their education, right? So in Power Network, for example, we've got blogging platform that's $25, right? We've got Inner Circle membership that's $100. These are monthly. We've got, an affiliate fee if somebody wants to resell our stuff. And we've got one-time products after that, $500, we've got $1,000, and we've got $3,500 after that that people buy. And you say, wow, we spent money on all this stuff. Tons of people do, because people want to create their, results in their business. And we have something in the Power Network, and we're renaming it here, but for now we're calling it an all-in customer, right? Somebody who has all of our processes. Because each one of those things outline different benefits on things that you can buy and things that you can create results with in your business. I'm going to move the camera back over here real quick, just because I think that the sound's going to be better, and I'm going to talk for about 30 minutes about this, and then I'm going to get you guys to make some decisions and teach you what to do next. I know my hair looks crazy today. I had actually one of the most interesting days that I've had in like the last 3 years. One of these days, I will tell you guys about it, but today was like one of the coolest days that I've had ever in my life. It just was like a magical day. Had some really neat things happen. Didn't even get a chance to take a shower. My hair's all crazy, but I'm just like glowing from the inside. Right? So here's the essence of the formula. Right? You need to have a vehicle. You need to have a system to sell the vehicle. Right? And then you need to have a strategy. And your strategy needs to be focused enough to head you in the right direction and flexible enough to make corrections along the way. Because if you're too rigid in your direction, this is what's going to happen. You have point A and you have point B. If you're too rigid in your direction, you will not go in a straight line. And if you're too rigid, you're going to go like this. You're not going to get to your outcome, which is over here. You need a flexible enough strategy that's loose enough to make course corrections, but it needs to be focused enough to direct your energy. And if you don't have that, you will not get here. Like getting in a car and driving down the road, right? And holding your arms like this, focused in a straight line. The car will not get here. The car will go this way, or it will go that way eventually. You need to be able to make course corrections along the way, realizing that it's okay when you do make mistakes. Right? So what's the formula here at Empower Network, those of you who are in, those of you who are affiliates, those of you who are our best customers, right? The process is, number one, get in. Number two, be really clear. Number three, believe you can do it and realize that really all it takes for you to get to a new level is to make a new decision. And realize there's bigger decisions to make. There's bigger outcomes to create. There's things that you need to learn. There's things that you're needing to change along the way. Right? Realize that you're going to need to change things along the way. What you really need, though, is you need commitment to your future. You need to make a decision to educate yourself to get the skills that you need to really make the money that you want in your business, right? Sometimes we throw these numbers around, and I don't want anybody to make any mistakes. Obviously, not everybody, goes from like Justin, almost broke, to making $150,000 a month. That's an extraordinary example. We've got all sorts of examples in between there, and we've got examples that are actually bigger. You can see the earnings disclosure on every page of the site here, right? Because we report averages. What I'm painting out is I'm painting out a picture of what's possible when you learn the skills that you need to learn in your business. So what we did in Empower Network, and this is essentially how we've created our entire company, is we asked ourselves, what do people who want different things in life need to have in order to build that business they want? What skills do they need? What resources do they need? What tools do they need? What training do they need? What do they, hold on a second, I'm going to grab some coffee here. What do they need, and what do they not need? And we built our whole product message around that. There are people here who want to get a big result. There are people here who don't want a big result. There are people here who want an average result. There are people here who want to kind of be where they are, but be a little more free. And there are people here who want to make, you know, 4-figure income every month. Multiple 4-figure income is big for a lot of people. And there's people here who want to create 6-figure income. There's people here who want to create multiple 6-figure incomes. There's people here who want to create 7-figure incomes. And we've got customers and affiliates who want to do that. So what we've done is we've created, we have an infrastructure of training that's designed to help you get the results that you want in your business and your life. And we do that through the products that we have available once you become a customer of Power Network. And there's a handful of things that I'm actually going to encourage you guys to just take action and buy. And I've got a special encouragement for a handful of you on this webinar who really want to step up and who really want to make a decision to do something different. Obviously, all of you guys are going to get in and buy the blog platform. You don't really need a lot of selling. It's $25, right? Get in, buy it, and start using it. And you'll see how much better it is than everything out there. It's cheaper, it's better, it's faster, it's more efficient. It's a $3 million piece of technology, and you get it for $25 a month. It is the cheapest and best at the same time that exists out there in specifically what we're doing. Just buy it. Just click the link and buy it. Obviously, you're going to do that. Now, in the live feed area, though, you've got some other links for other products that you can buy, other things that you can get educated on. And those things are important for who I'm about to describe here in a second. But I want to talk about one in particular, and then I want to talk about some things everybody here should make a decision on tonight, right? On really how far you want to take your education and how far you want to take your future. We're going to be doing a special series that's going to be a 4 weeks series, and I don't actually have the dates in front of me, but I believe it is on the page, where Dave Sharp and myself and a handful of leaders in Power are going to spend 4 weeks walking you through how to create a fast result in a month in your business. When you buy that product, it's $297. It's going to be the first upsell if you're just buying now, but if you actually log in, it's called Blog Beast Academy. It's over on the left-hand side. We're going to show you how to use the blogging platform to get the results that you want in your business fast. I want to talk about this product and talk about why you should buy it here for a second, and why you should buy it now, because the price of that thing is going to go up here in a few days. Okay. Hold on a second, I'm losing my voice. I talked about this a little bit last night, but let me talk about what I believe is the most important skill if you're going to do what we do. If you want to be somebody who builds a big following online, if you want to be somebody who builds a big following offline, really, a following is a following. And when you're building a business, right, you need to create a following. You need to learn how to get people to follow you. If you're on Twitter, right, what do? You get people to follow you, right? On Facebook, if you've got a fan page, people can like you and they can follow you. If you're in network marketing, what's your goal? Your goal is to build a following. Your goal is not just to build a list. Your goal is to get people around you who you have the ability to influence, who you have the ability to lead. Your goal is to build a following, right? You need to learn how to build a following. You need to learn how to influence people. It is the highest paid skill that exists in the world, because when you can surround yourself with people that are good, you can do anything. And when I say anything, there's no limitations to that, right? There isn't. If you want to build a following, right, there are certain specific skills to be able to do that that are valuable. And who am I to be able to teach those skills? Well, I am one of a handful of people that together, and just in the last 2 years, have built the largest affiliate company of any kind that exists around our niche by like 5 or 10 times. More like 10 times, actually, is the next close second. It's actually more like closer to 20. Probably about how big we are now, because they've gone down. We'll be the second biggest one. We're like 20 times the size, and we're still growing real fast. A couple of ex-homeless guys, right? And how did we really do that? Well, we did that by learning how to get people to make decisions, to get people to stick with those decisions, and to get people to create internal changes that they need to create a bigger result in their life and their business. That's how